Welcome to episode of Modern Box. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, so round 4 SuperBru picks are up pretty much. Let's get into it. Before though, I should just say that it's been a very good round of SuperBru for my picks. I'm very happy. I mean, using my picks with maybe 1 or 2 tiny changes, effectively we're sitting at I think the top 1% of SuperBru, at least in the top 4,000-5,000 of global. So they've worked well, and I hope they're working for you. So please let me know if they are working for you down below. Where are you sitting in your pool? Where are you sitting globally? In the comments down below. Please share and subscribe and all those good things. So South Africa Canada is the first game up, and I think it's going to be a similar kind of situation as the Canada Namibia game. I feel like the two are very close, Namibia and Canada, and they have not played in recent times. Rugby forecast going for 42. I think that's going to be a little bit more in the 50 to 55 range, but I'm going to stick to 50. That's I think the right amount there. That really is. It's about the same as what we did to Namibia. South Africa's done quite a bit of changes to the team with Damien Willems coming in, and effectively a very similar team they faced Namibia. So I think a similar scoreline should be in line. So that would be about 50. Just seems about the right range. With New Zealand normally getting about 60, 50 is going to probably be the right approach. We've got. I was concerned that South Africa would probably slow down after they get to the 30 bonus point, but the bench of South Africa is effectively the starting lineup players, so they're going to, if anything, just get stronger as the game goes. So that's why 50 seems like the right range. Argentina, USA also have not played in recent times. I'm quite surprised with that. The rugby forecast going for 20 here. This is an interesting one. Obviously, with the France beating USA by 24, and the close scoreline between those two teams, I think you also need to look at the fact that Argentina need this bonus point. It's going to be essential for them to pick up this bonus point to give them a chance with France playing Tonga and all of that. So we need to ensure, we need to realise that they're going to go for that bonus point with everything they've got. Which is, they obviously don't know the results of that game yet. So I think it's going to be interesting, but I've got a feeling that Argentina are going to put everything into this. They've got the forward pack to face the USA quite comfortably, and they should be able to shut down most of the USA's advances. So I'm going to go for 26 here. I think that's a comfortable amount. The USA do have the fitness to keep in the game for a while. They have been known to score late, so I don't think they're going to be like Tonga or that, where it's a case of you can run over them as they get tired. USA do have the fitness, unfortunately just don't seem to have the talent or the tactical skills to be able to really damage a team, which I'm quite surprised about in this World Cup. It's a little bit of a forgettable one for the USA, but we shall see. Next up, Scotland, Russia. This is obviously a must bonus point win game for Scotland, as obviously they're playing Japan a little later in this round. This round is going to effectively decide or make their World Cup. To be fair, it doesn't really matter. Scotland have to kill the next 2 games, and they can, if they beat, then we'll have to look at the margin point, bonus point situation for them again at Japan. But they need this bonus point to give them even a chance, because the problem is Japan just picked up a bonus point against Samoa. So obviously all of these things take into massive account. Saying that, I don't think Scotland are going to go much more than that, because as I said, they also have 2 games in this round. So they're going to be picking a little bit of a second string team, in my opinion. But also, the way that they acted against Samoa and played against Samoa, I've got a feeling that they'll still be able to put a comfortable score on, because their tactical kicking and their open play from that tactical kicking was very strong, and it's going to be very similar, in my opinion, with Russia, where you kick them into their own half and keep them there. Although, to be fair, the tactic of having them run out, I don't think will work, because Russia does tend to play a little bit more of a structured game than Samoa. So 30 points for me is, I think, a good place. A little bit less than how they beat Samoa, and just enough to make sure that they should have got their bonus point, and that should be comfortable there. A rugby forecast here is going for 34, so I've gone a little bit lower than that. I think that they're going to slow down once they get the points that they need. I don't see them going all the way to 34, but yeah, and Russia has impressed me in this tournament. They put a good fight against Ireland and a good fight against Japan, so don't take anything away from them as a team. Cool. Next we have Wales, Fiji. This, as a Fijian fan, is a game to redeem your World Cup. This is the game you want to win. This will make the World Cup worth it. For Wales fans, this is pretty much, it doesn't matter what happens here. You're going through. There's no way there's almost no way I think you can, unless you get a dribbling and some crazy things happen. Effectively, you're going through. So saying that, this obviously decides where you're going through in the path in the World Cup. So this is still a must win. And Fiji, obviously the Welsh have got a little bit of a history of losing to them, as they lost 38-4 to them back in 2007. So you don't want to have that on your conscience when you're playing against them. It's something so South African fans when we played Italy now, where we just lost them recently. This is obviously a while ago, so it's still, I'm sure it still stings. It still stings. The scores are erratic here, so I don't know. The Welsh team, I assume, facing them is the same team that put a 66 scoreline difference against them recently, and not the same team that put 4 and 10 the games before. So as I said, these are fine over a period of time, but still they weren't dribbings, and then there was a massive dribbling. So I've got a feeling it's going to be more like the last game, as it is the most recent. But it's tough to tell. I think that Wales will definitely just try and get the win and then slow down on it. They don't want to injure any players. This is a game where you can lose a lot of good players. You definitely don't want to lose any of your Adam Joneses or any of them. Your Davids. Those are going to be costly in this tournament like this. And something that Wales obviously you can see Wales and Ireland both are focusing heavy on making sure that they don't lose their depth. They just don't have the player pool to be able to compete if they lose some of their top players, in my opinion. So Wales here will get the point and get out. I'd say by 20 is comfortable. I know that Australia beat Fiji by more. I know, but the fact of the matter is that Wales is going to play and just they don't think they're going to go for a bonus yet, because it doesn't matter. They don't need the bonus to go through, so it won't be strategically useful and could cost them the tournament if they lose a key player in this card. And Fiji honestly do have a little bit of a reputation building. Not like Samoa yet, but still. Yeah, 20 it seems like a good range. Forecast here went for 16, so they're also not comfortable. I'm going to go a little bit more than that, but still, I don't think Wales are going to kill the Fijians at all. Australia, Georgia. This is Australia here, this game might change quite heavily based on the result of the game before. If Fiji pull out a miracle, Australia might smell blood and try and go for top spots. So I'm not sure exactly here. Rugby forecast went for 25. They haven't played in recent times, but Australia, I've got a feeling, are going to put some heavy impact on this game. Try and get the bonus point, put everything they can into it. At the same time, this pick might change depending on the game before it. I say about 20 to 25 if Wales win and all is good. If Wales lose, 30 to 38. I'd say I'd go with a 35 pick and a 25 pick. An extra 10 points if Wales lose the game, mainly due to the fact that the Wales, that game, obviously you're looking for a bonus point then. It's all about bonus point. And the Fijians put a comfortable and healthy score against the Georgians, and I've got a feeling the Australian team is very similar in the style that they're going to play, but a slightly more clinical version of it. So that's why the 35-38 is definitely a good place to sit. I'm going to end up with 35, and pretty much if you are not comfortable, 35 is a good place to be. That's similar to scoreline they got against Fiji, and the fact of the matter is Australia definitely will be able to do more than that if they just play the whole game. I'm just not sure if they feel they're going to protecting players or not. Yes, New Zealand, Italy. This game is interesting. It's pretty much, at this point, New Zealand are through. Doesn't matter what we do. They'll take it. The question now comes how much. I've got a still feeling that if you look at even the team that they fielded against Namibia or Canada, damn strong teams, they'll still put 45 points easily on Italy. Obviously, remember South Africa put a similar scoreline on 46, but the biggest thing you remember there is the red card skews the scoreline. I think South Africa is probably more in the range of about 30 to win that actually, but 35, but ended up being 46. I think without any red cards or cards, 45 is a good place to be. They did They haven't played. They actually played last with New Zealand won by 63. The average they win by is about 50. So I think it's going to be a little bit less than that because I don't think they're going to be fielding the top team that New Zealand can field. And at this point, they're going to be protecting players as the quarterfinals are relatively close. Obviously, they aren't. This will be this weekend, next weekend, and there will be about 8 days still to the quarterfinals. But still, it's still not something you want to chance as a World Cup team. Rugby forecast gone for 34. I think that's too low. Cool. England versus France. So this is obviously a big one. England. This is one of the biggest games of the round, in my opinion. England here definitely have the upper hand. They in the last few games, 1 of 7 of them was France only won 3. They haven't drawn in a while. But you've got to take into effect that in 2019 England won by 36, but then lost in 2018 to them by 6. So this is not a sealed game for England. They definitely have a bit of a seesaw effect on results against France. Something that I think is probably France's fault, not England, with the fact that they definitely have a unpredictable team. I still feel England by 12, but at this point this is going to be deciding effectively which of these two teams is sitting at the top and what that's going to mean for their path in the World Cup. So I think the team selections there will reflect that. So 12 is a good point, as I feel England just want to secure the top spot, and they're not going to try and do much more than that. They want to injure any players. They will be picking an A side, but many subs will come on before the half, in my opinion, which will slow down the scoring rate. It'll probably be the biggest challenge the English have faced, bar obviously Argentina game now. It's still, in my opinion, this is now the true challenge. Can they continue? Because Argentina just haven't been the true full potential that they can be. So this will be interesting to see, definitely from a World Cup rankings and predictions side of things. How much of a challenge are the English? Cool. Ireland, Samoa. Obviously, the last time effectively they played, Ireland beat them. It was in 2013, and was 49 to Ireland. So I've got a feeling it's going to be a similar amount. Again, a lot of these scores now, you've got to understand, you've got to take into account the fact that this is now, this is coming to the end of the rounds. People are trying to just make sure their positions are secure. At this point, Ireland will try and ensure their spot, because obviously depending on Scotland's result in the game, they have to kill this game. They have to bonus point kill it, because you've got the Scotland-Japan game coming up. If Scotland win that, Japan are currently ahead of Ireland. They could end up actually kicking Ireland completely out if they don't get a bonus point here, which are all permutations of the results we could definitely see. So Ireland definitely here by 30. They're going to be playing one of their top teams up on this field, and they will be doing it. And if you look at how Scotland demolished the Irish, the Samoans, using tactical kicking and just keeping them in their half, times 2. I think that Ireland will do that with much more efficiency. I'm a little bit concerned because I feel that they couldn't really enact that against Russia. Russia actually played some strong rugby against them, but I've got a feeling they've got the answer to Samoan rugby as they've played them before. And it's just about making sure, especially in these conditions, teams are going to make mistakes if they play the ball out of their half, and Ireland's defence is strong enough that it'll force them to do that. So I think 30 is a good point to be. Rugby forecast gone for 25. I think that's a little too low. So yeah, that's my opinion. Namibia, Canada. Yeah, this is also what's interesting about this round. There's a lot of your tier 2 nations now facing off against each other to make it up, and this is what makes it very interesting, because now it's not only margin that you worry about. This is a true, I have no idea who's going to win this one. There's another couple of games like this too. So rugby forecast got for 7 by Canada. They played last with Canada winning in 2014, 17-3. But considering results, it's tough. Canada would have played slightly more recently compared to Namibia, considering played Sunday versus Tuesday. But and I feel that Namibia have a better attack. They were able to put more points against New Zealand than what Canada could. Obviously, they conceded slightly more points too. But same with Italy, they also put more points on versus Canada. They actually scored some tries. Canada hasn't scored a try in this World Cup. So I think I'm going to give it to Namibia by 4. This is a tough pick, very tough. But I feel Namibia have the team in them to be able to do this. And as long as they can get their set pieces right, which I felt that they had very strong set pieces, even today's game and the game against. That they can continue doing that, they'll be fine, and they should at least get themselves a try. One biggest problem for Namibia, which Canada I think also has, so it doesn't there's not an issue, major issue, is the speed of the wings on each outside, especially in my opinion, Canada's side, is just not there. So they're going to be having a hard time breaking through the outsides. I think they're definitely going to be going through the middle and a little bit more of a brute force. And I think, in my opinion, Namibia has a little bit more brute force to be able to give in that game. Not going to be a massive victory, but an interesting one for sure. Especially if you're a big SuperBru fan, this is the game to watch, guys. Might not be world superpowers, but this could mean massive points. So definitely watch this game. USA Tonga. Again, as I said, tough game, because you've got to look at, in recent history, all of the wins of the Tonga side. Tonga have, in my opinion, had a better tournament than USA. But I don't know if they'll be able to. This is a tough one. This is such a tough one. Rugby forecast gone for USA by 1. I'm going to agree with them and go by 2. I think that even though, in my opinion, the Tongan team has played better rugby than USA, USA, I think, just have the fitness to be able to pull it out in the end, and they have shown the last 5 or 6 minutes that they can do something interesting. So I'm going to give it to the USA. But yes, the last time they played, Tonga beat them comfortably in 2015, 33-19. So yeah, I'm taking that as my opinion. I feel that there's a strong chance that Tonga can win it. So definitely, I will be releasing maybe an update if I feel that there may be changes based on other results. But at the moment, that's how it's going to stay. Wales, Uruguay. This should be a comfortable win. And obviously, we say Wales have played recently already. They're going to be putting a B team in here for sure. And it's going to be quite interesting. With the fact that obviously Wales won. I think that Wales will still comfortably win this. They're going to be definitely trying to protect players as much as possible, though. And you've got to take that into account. So Wales by 30 seems good. Not too much. Good, comfortable win. So yeah, I think that's the case. Tries, get the point, and go. They would have obviously secured their cup pretty much by now, but yes, we'll see. And I think this bonus point just makes sure that they keep that top spot. Japan, Scotland, probably the game of the round. This is obviously just going to decide this most likely, and it depends on how the points work out before that. And I'll bring out a video if there's some essential, like what does this game mean. But effectively, Japan, Scotland. Rugby forecast has gone Scotland by 7, but I think it's going to be Japan by 5. They have played in recent times. All times Scotland has won. With the last time being 16-12 to 21 to Scotland in 2018. But I think that this is going to be a turnaround. Japan have just been playing very, very well. They definitely showed some guts against and some also resilience against Samoa recently. And they are able to at least play test match rugby, keeping the box ticking and get there. The only concern is, as I've said before, Scotland play as well as the team they play. Japan play as well as the team they play against. They don't play much more than that, and I don't think they're going to beat them by much more than that. That is a good amount. They're just going to make sure they get the win so that they're through, and I imagine that they're going to be subbing, that they will just hold off there and try and keep the win. So 5 seems good for me. That's pretty much where I think it's going to land. This is the must-win game for both sides though, so just understand it's going to be a massive bruiser. But yes guys, let me know your opinions down below, your picks, your fields, all of those good things, and comment down below if you have anything else to say. Cheers guys.